right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We got map number 2 just around the corner here for the Nerd Street Gamers Winter Championships in the Philadelphia LAN Regional. So looking forward to seeing how things continue on now. Ascent will be that map 2, as mentioned, as we got for Olympic Esports and Radiance going at it, with Radiance taking that first map, of course, in the end, 13-5. So looks pretty good doing so as we take a look and a recap here as far as how that first map played out. And this goes back to that round 2 after losing the pistol round. Radiance temperature specifically a great flank, and that set the tone, going in 10 rounds straight in that first half, closing out 10-2 and then ultimately 13-5 to win it in the end. But Radiance definitely got to be one of the more expected teams to do well in this event. Of course, as we talked about, you know, online events for Nerd Street here, they've been looking very good, a very organized squad. For Olympic Esports has quite the challenge, but they are going to be going on to Ascent, which is their map, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. It's definitely a whole different vibe than Breeze, much more close quarters combat, a lot of, you know, early choke point gameplay. And again, who knows what we're going to see as far as the agent picks. I would assume it'll be a little bit more standard, but at the same time, you know, what is standard in a game that's changing as often as Valorant is? Who knows?
Very true. Things have been changing constantly. So, with that map one out of the way, of course, there are other matches taking place. So just kind of going through and seeing some results from some of the other matches. Of course, A-Crew, one of the more favorite teams in this event, certainly playing up against Squishy and Friends. So it looks like A-Crew winning that first map 13-1. So they're up 1-0 in their series. You got Booster Seat Gaming up 1-0 over Faux Real. A couple of solo scores there, specifically Booster Seat Gaming. Of course, they made it to the finals of that frag major that we covered about 3 weeks ago. So certainly expected to do well as well. They're up 1-0, and then same Raffle Lamau is down 1-0 to
Cowaretta.
Cowaretta. Yeah, those fun names. Anyways, yeah, same Raffle Lamau. That's actually my new team name favorite for sure. 13-5, Cowaretta winning that first one. So those are some results right there. You got Salt and Vinegar going up against Mugiwara in map 1, and then Bjora's Kittens and CLG Red are in map 1 as well. So give me an idea as far as how other matches are shaping up, and certainly looking forward to. Of course, we're going to watch plenty of these teams over the next couple of days, as this is our first of 4 best-of-3s even today alone. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, so hopefully you enjoy our voices, because you're going to be hearing a lot of them today. Deal with it.
Deal with it, indeed. What do you got out of Group C down there? You know, we talked about Salt and Vinegar going up against Mugiwara. Salt and Vinegar, though, that squad, certainly one of the expected teams themselves. I mean, you got some really legit players on that team. I'm pulling up right here. So, yeah, J. Cruel, Stellar, Bang, Governor, and Rossi. So I guess to answer my own question, they're probably the favorite there in Group C, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say they're definitely my pick. We saw a couple of these guys, J. Cruel and was it Bang, who won that frag major as a pickup a pug team before. So, you know, obviously players with a pedigree both at these Nerd Street events and also outside in the greater VCT landscape as well. You know, always excited to see a team like CLG Red. Shout out to all the ladies playing Valorant. And, you know, it's a tough group that they drew, unfortunately. But definitely hope we get to see a little bit of them playing today as well. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's really kind of anybody's tournament, but we definitely have some very strong favorites. And I would honestly say after map 1, I would put Radiance up there as somebody who could contend for a title, especially if they can kind of build on the momentum that they're building here.
Yeah, and again, we know that this is an actual organization and a team that's put together, but you didn't know exactly what to expect with them. But yeah, from the recent results, and especially after that map 1, not to overhype either, but certainly one of the better, stronger teams even in this event, and they're, of course, coming out of Group B. So obviously after a great start, you saw the players there getting ready to sit back down and get ready for map 2. So hopefully, once again, not too much longer of a break before we head into Ascent. Going to be coming up. But we talked about Ascent and the potential as far as agent differences. I definitely want to see some more Fiend on Chamber. That's for sure. He played that very well. Was the top stat sheet in the game as far as his skills went and everything. In fact, yeah, somebody had a screen right here. What did he finish with? It was 22, 6, and 4. I mean, that's impressive right there. Those landing shots played also very aggressive and We weren't on him all the time, but I almost want to say I don't even know if we really used the teleport necessarily as much as we expect to see Chambers. He was just kind of W keying and still doing work. So clean shots.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely just aggressively pushing down middle a lot, which is something that you see Jets do. And Fiend is definitely a big Jet player as well. So, you know, just kind of translating a lot of those habits over. I'm just curious to see how that works when teams start punishing or trying to punish it, at least, because you don't have that instantaneous just get out of jail free card unless you're, you know, thinking about and pre-setting up your teleport to be able to escape. So I definitely am excited to see more Chamber. I just am curious, you know, as we get kind of down to like the top 4 and top like the top teams playing against each other, whether the Chamber actually does pay dividends or whether it gets more readily punished than, say, a Jet would in a lot of these situations.
As you see, the players have sat down and getting their final preparations going before getting things going with map number 2. Yeah, another thing worth pointing out, actually, I was looking at it too from that map 1. I mean, no smokers on the side of Olympic Esports. You know, Breeze is one of those maps where you can certainly get away with that, but obviously Ascent you certainly expect it, and Ascent's also not necessarily a Viper map either. So I don't think we'll see either team running the Viper, but obviously the Astra coming up for Olympic. Maybe a Brimstone if they really want to feel a little risky there, but probably gonna
yeah, unlikely until Astra gets some significant changes, but maybe so. Maybe now is the time to learn the new meta.
Hey, we saw last event. It was Fracture specifically. I'm blanking on the team that did it. It might have been Sonics actually, but the Brimstone and Astra together. So you know, some funky stuff can happen, especially at an event like this when it comes to some agent lineup. So
bring back the triple smoke comp from Fnatic, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
What was it? Was it Viper, Astra, Brim on Bind? I think they played.
That's insane. Just
something like that.
All the blockage. How do you even play against that or into it? Seems a little overkill, but
it didn't work very well. Spoiler.
All right, well, yeah, let's talk about that overkill. All right, we're into map number 2 now with the agent selection, and here we go. The ghost picking some, and you know, until it actually snaps in, this players like to tease, so not even going to. Well, I will say, you mentioned one of the players in this event is actually Euromain, apparently, or plays a lot of it, and we could expect to see perhaps some. So might make an appearance eventually, but not in this matchup.
Yeah, not in this one. And there we go. Agent select is locked and loaded. We're gonna see that Jet coming out for both teams, and Astra for both teams as well. To answer your question about smokers.
All right. It's Killjoy versus Cypher. Always fun to see that as well, or one team prefers one over the other. But it's Killjoy for the side of Olympic and Cypher for the side of Radiance. Those will be the Sentinels on either side. It's also a difference of Sky on the side of Olympic, whereas I guess you essentially have
Temperature playing that secondary duelist.
The Reyna, yeah. Okay,
flex
so
role,
duelist, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess it is worth noting that Temperature is a new addition to this squad. I don't know if he's, I think, most recently played for Genji. Maybe is now signed to Raid. I'm not sure. Somebody's gonna have to kind of let me know what the situation is there. But obviously, they were playing with cheat code up until recently. Temperature is now stepping into that spot, and so it could be just kind of one of those things where they're putting him on just a very comfortable kind of like do what you're going to do agent like Reyna, and not trying to mess too much with like the team chemistry as far as integrating him into like the more, you know, complex executes by having him play something like a Sky that has a little bit more timing involved.
Yeah. Sky is interesting, though, too. Speaking of that agent, where I remember the last event, again, it was a different event, but at the same venue, and kind of a lot of players thought, because, oh my god, we got a big clash off the bat at the B side between the two teams, and so far it's Fiend getting one, and that is it. I'm surprised it wasn't more, but I suppose Pro Fury or Olympic Esports did not commit as much as I expected them to, but Dusty will win the kill in the mid lane and makes it even. But Fiend will quickly change that as all the way towards A side now. Finally gets traded out. Back and forth, back and forth.
Temperature going for one of those flanks here on the Reyna, but has given away his position. Needs to be careful as he pushes that in the middle. Meanwhile, Seth holding down the A site. Doesn't need too much help.
That's clean shots from both sides right there. Potato Lover kept his temperature lurking around in mid, and now it's just Potato Lover versus 2. Again, coming into this, Olympic Esports is 2-0 on pistol rounds. But at 21 life, this is so difficult. Needs to land a headshot. Cannot get it, though. Good angle by Rebo. Spams through the wall with only 21 life. Cannot survive. So Radiance will change that as they take the pistol round here on map 2.
Yeah, that corner angle is such a weird one into tree there, like we just saw for that final kill, where you're coming in from Cat and you can't really see the corner angle, but the corner angle can see you, and you just get shot through the wall. But yeah, pretty close pistol round, this time going the way of Radiance, and that means that we will see them buying up. Nice little smattering of Ares Marshall, couple Spectres up there.
Yeah, to the point that we did not see a lot of Sky in the pre. We saw a lot more KO, if anything. But obviously, again, this is our only second map overall of the day. But yeah, having a Sky here for Bro Olympic running out as Temperature, the long-range Spectre, gonna win that duel against Dusty.
That won't work next patch.
That's one of those nerfs coming in you're talking about, yeah. Enjoy it while you can. You're just going to start running at them now, and you can tell Bro Olympic Esports is like, wait, we're suddenly playing defense. They're just getting a run at all the way in their spawn, and with the gun advantage, it's understandable, as at least Simply will kill one. Do some damage, but Radiance pretty clean round 2.
Yeah, I mean, what better agent to be running and gunning with a gun advantage there than Reyna? Get that first heal off, and it just kind of feels like there's literally nothing that can stop you.
Pretty good there, 3-1-1. Seth, though, 3-0-2. Yeah, what do you think about the Cypher versus Killjoy? Is this a map where you have a preference personally, or is it up to the teams?
I think that we've seen most of like the top teams favoring the Killjoy just because of like the retake potential and the alarm bot mid being a little bit more valuable, but I think it is mostly personal preference.
Venture getting a lot of Ares damage here, by the way. Spraying through that wall and getting a couple. You see Astros actually lost a fair amount of life. Continues to spray and continues to do more damage. Oh, this Ares value. Feeling pretty good about it. As Simply just going to make sure not getting flanked when they're spawn, and for good reason, because you see that A was completely left open from Olympic Esports. The flank is coming. In fact, here we go through mid. Fiend gets 2. They pick it again. And Fiend just gets 3. It's just strafe and kill. Oh, Fiend is a good player.
Yeah, I mean, that was really nicely executed because they could have gotten a little bit caught out there if Pro Olympic had been maybe a little bit more aggressive and rotating over towards A, because we saw that the Jet and the Reyna were very pushed up and very exposed. But recognizing that they were potentially at risk, we saw Reyna and Jet both kind of do like a 2-layered peak where Fiend is up top on Cat and Reyna's just below, so it kind of messes up the crosshair placement, and you both peek out at the same time. And that's Fiend 3 kills and cleans up around there.
You just see at the beginning of that with the replay. I mean, that's just top-tier gameplay right there. Just spammed with the Ares. And again, he did a lot of damage with it early on. So you got to be careful for Olympics, certainly going towards B specifically, knowing that you're going to run into Ares and potentially Nodin later on. Temperature being pulled in. Fiend, though, holding Winery. And will find another again, these strafes and just cool, calm, and collected. Eventually lands a shot. Great flick back from Rebo, meanwhile, picking up mid. And it's just, once again, aggressive play coming out from Radiance here.
And why not? They're feeling themselves. Say this is your map pick, but you know what? We're going to put you down bad early on.
Oh, actually hit that shot too. Did some damage, but got 2 kills before being taken out at least. But yeah, again, last lap to that point. Radiance 4-0. as we head into round 5 now, but should be back to Bizo for Olympic. I go back to that B main area, right? It's like you know what you're going up against now in Sova. A lot of Sovas do that anyways, but they kind of tested the waters in round 3. They ran into it, so now I expect a little bit of a change up here from Olympic in terms of maybe not playing as aggressive towards B main early on.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Radiance's defensive setup. Sova is no longer at B. They have an Astra over there, and 2 players set up to push aggressively at middle here. Fiend and Temperature playing well together.
Yeah, oh my god. Playing well together, and Fiend individually playing well. Nice trade from Corvette, but Temperature, the duelists just playing off of each other. Another trade happens. The player advantage stays in favor as the drone gets taken out there from Dusty. Got the hit off, but Temperature's holding his own and manages to stay alive. Oh, but he ran out of bullets. Let's be careful here, and simply kills Temperature finally. So now it swings back to Olympic Esports, but Rebo's pushing up.
Oh, he's pulled.
Holds. Oh, he thought he had a good angle there. Almost did, but Potato Lover manages to catch him.
Yeah, that vulnerable paid a big dividend there, because I think he wins that if Potato Lover doesn't complete the gravity well. But player's very low. This is still a little bit dangerous. We see Rebo making his way through B main.
Cypher, though, not much utility. Really just has a camera.
Sorry, not Rebo, Seth.
Yeah. Seth is going to do his best, but so much for that camera because it gets destroyed immediately. So slight information, but okay. That's one way to do it. Spam the wall, get a kill. 1 versus 2, but this should still be a very difficult task for Seth, especially if they peek off each other. It's like he almost knows where they are. They're just looking back and forth. Checking right, gets one. The reactions are on point from Seth, but simply will close it out and finally get around for Olympic. Man, Seth made it interesting, but they're on the board for Olympic Esports.
Yeah, it's got to feel a little bit of a sigh of relief. I mean, obviously, you're starting on attack. You're not expected to come out ahead on Ascent, one of the most defensive-sided maps in the pool. But certainly going down 5-0 on your map pick is not feeling good after sort of getting slapped around on Breeze earlier.
Fiend back where comfortably is, and it was in the first game as well. 8-3-1. On top has an operator, by the way. As Temperature goes quick in a winery. I don't think was seen, though. Olympic Esports is now pushing up as 4, but they're checking. Gonna have to go for the peak, working together, but simply takes out Temperature, and Fiend could not get a response. Oh my god, what a shot from Conscious with a knife. That is momentum now for Olympic.
Rebo gonna go for an aggressive hold here, trying to find some picks. If they push in a little bit too early, we get punished. Great patience there.
Conscious is feeling it this round. 3 kills with the knives. Oh, nice job with the kill from Venture, though. Shock dart by Conscious, a 4 kill. And the let's go comes out in the background. Let's go indeed. 2-4 as they take 2 in a row. Yeah, Rebo doing the smoke trick once again, but you can tell it's like they're adapting. They're like, yeah, you've done this before. We're not going to fall for this again.
Man, I'm on record as being a massive Jet hater. I think the agent is, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think it's low skill because it's so overpowered. But it's also very, very high skill when it's in the hands of somebody who's much better at Valorant than I am, like Gonchas. And that was a very, very impressive showing of what Jet can do.
Absolutely. I mean, that shot on a Fiend was, just as we're also hyping up Fiend for good reason, I think some Cassius Curse coming into play right there. Olympic Esports will certainly take a Conscious specifically. Again, 4 kills the previous round, all clean kills certainly. So Fiend pushing up B main. Going to be taking the flash though, and it looks like Fiend's killing Corvette, but now has to fall back because more pressure was coming. But yeah, unfortunately went away from that one, but it got the kill onto Sky, despite even flash coming out, and ends up falling back.
Oh, punished on the jump peak there. Temperature and Fiend, they're like, all right, we gave you one last round, and now we're back in rhythm. And I did want to also mention, I was looking back at it for the old Moon Raccoon squad that kind of made waves early on in North America with like the Sean lineup. Obviously he went on Genji, but it was Temperature and Fiend were on that roster along with Rebo, and pretty good then. So maybe some of this teamwork that we're seeing from them it's built up. It's muscle memory at this point.
Yeah, so
they might not have played together that recently.
Yeah, it goes back a little bit further is the point.
One enemy remaining.
This Temperature setting up a flank right here. This is quickly falling to pieces for Olympic. You got Potato Lover with 21 life, finds 1 kill. But gonna have to just go every which way. Oh, almost got a second with the headshot, but not enough damage for the kill. That's a Phantom for you. Vandal, different story, but didn't. Radiance is 5-2 as they take round number 7. So going into round 8, is it going to be a buy? Yeah, it looks like they have enough for some buys at least. It's kind of one of those scatters, some half armor in there for the side of Olympic Esports. They do have a couple ultimates though, including the Seekers, which is a big one on the attacking side especially. So we'll see if that comes out immediately.
Yeah, I'm always curious too with like the Sova. Do you pop the Hunter's Fury right away and try and find a pick, or do you let it sort of layer over your execute, or do you hold it for that post plant?
Pop the Seekers. Fiend, oh no! They lined up! Oh, Fiend, 3 kills, and he is hunting for more. You know it. Look at they're watching their back like, oh, here he comes. Here comes the beast.
One enemy remaining.
Go for the ace. Oh,
okay.
Rogers! No, but Potato Lover takes him out. Gets 2 before being claimed himself by Seth. So no ace, but still pretty plays from Fiend. And we got to battle some Jets on our hand.
Yeah, I mean, I blinked and 3 people were dead on the side of Prolific Esports. That was just a Jet moment there, and we've seen a couple of them already here. Just cleaning up on Cat. Little nice remix going on. Thanks, production.
I mean, Fiend has had a great series so far and is obviously a very skilled shooter, but let's be honest, that was just thank you very much for lighting up, more so than anything. Still, well played by Fiends. All 5 players of Olympic are headed towards A currently. This is a econ round for them. Flash not going to hit anything, I don't believe. Temperature. Holding this one-way smoke, thanks to Astra.
Fiend is at it again. Knives out, finds the pick onto Gaunches. And once again, Olympic seems to be finding themselves in a spot where they make an initial push and then they're just immediately flanked and they're kind of stuck in their initial push positioning. But forcing into a bunch of Astra stars knowing that the other team is probably stacked is not a great proposition.
See the communication coming out in the background. Talking about flashes. There's the gravity well. Doc Dart's flying in as well. Temperature is running up, checking. No, somebody's to the right. Eventually the peek up. Oh my gosh. Again, the teamwork is just so on point. I know that was an econ round, but still. Radiance, you can just hear it in the background too, thanks to the mic setups with the production here. And you love to get the whole feeling that Radiance is on point together, as we're going to see a timeout coming out from the side of Olympic Esports. They're down 2-7 running on the attacking side.
See, once again, just hail of bullets, the Odin, the aggressive Reyna play. Yeah, Radiance definitely feeling kind of like a juggernaut right now, just running it down round after round. I think that Olympic needs to be a little bit careful about giving up. I just kind of feel like they've been giving up like entire map control other than the one site that they're pushing towards over and over and over. And Radiance is exploiting that by essentially stacking the site because they know where the attack is coming. And then they just box them in and slowly kind of like tighten the noose until the round is over.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was actually having the same thought from that previous round too. Just looking at the mini-map layout, that it does feel like Olympic Esports, their default, they don't really have that default that we see a lot of teams do, right? Where they're fairly spread out. You know, they're watching all the push angles, trying to get somewhat aggressive in certain areas themselves. As 2 players, 1 player even. But yeah, it seems like they are sticking together a lot more than you'd expect to see. And I think a lot of that maybe comes down to the, dare I say, the lack of confidence with a lot of these duels being won by Radiant. So they figure they need to have the numbers advantage and try to, you know, overwhelm the site, I guess. But it is a difficult task either way. And we're going to see this again. Fiend is just going to go for an aggressive mid-peak with the operator. No early kill, though, and we'll fall back for now. But look at Rebo. Rebo's even pushing up B main.
And why not? If you're going to win those duels like that. Hunter's Fury on top to try and find another one. He'll miss. But right off the bat, I mean, this early map control, look, Temperature is up middle, Fiend is there to back him up. And Olympic might be a little bit more split this time, but they're still kind of just boxed in once again.
Bit. This temperature though, pushing up. Finally
Spike down A.
stall them a little bit, but Seth gets simply elsewhere. Goes in the A site. Not just in the site currently at Generator, and suddenly is the last one standing in a 1 versus 4. Checking all over the place. Got one, but we rolled a quick trade. So 8-2 Radiance. And I'm going to be back to, I believe it's going to be Nikon again for Olympic, as they did buy that previous round. So maybe somewhat of a force buy, but they got an Astro Wall, they got Hunter's Fury, they're one away from a lockdown. So maybe they can make a play still on this round, as Conscious is thinking about buying it. You can tell they're talking about it.
Yeah, it's kind of at that spot where you need every round you can get, but maybe you just go for the 9-3 and hope the curse works.
Yeah, oh true. That well, they need that third round still as Fiend. Hey, I guess he's just enough behind the wall there. Get flashed.
That stuff.
And no info given because of the flash not hitting. So unfortunate. Rebo's left though. Rebo's left. Dusty doesn't check. No, I guess those are to the right, and the Rebo spam gets 3. Once again, some more lineups.
Yeah, just good coordination playing off of each other there. I mean, it's a fairly basic setup that has been used at Cat for a long time, but you know, it's the execution that really matters, and Radiance did it to a perfection there.
Venture sees the jump peak coming out. Land some shots here with that Sheriff. Simply has the Marshall. Gets sandwiched on pretty quickly, and it doesn't matter at that point. Rebo, it's the 4 kill, makes it 9-2 Radiant. So into the final round of the first half. It was 10-2 first half in the previous map. Could be similar, but as you mentioned, hey, get 3 rounds. At least get that curse setup going. That's totally real. But they got lockdown, they got Astro Wall, they got Hunter's Fury. I mean, they have a lot of tools here now. They're going to have good, solid buys as well. So certainly the potential is there to win this round. It's just a matter of, if anything, using set abilities, specifically the lockdown and even the Astro Wall before those agents potentially die. So we'll see.
And also not getting picked by Fiend immediately.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, ooh, good drone. Tag, but it's hard to chase after the Jet.
On the Odin spam.
Oh no! 5 life. Yikes.
I mean, you see where the beam is coming from on the Hunter's Fury, and Venture goes for the punish. Does a ton of damage there.
Some top tier Valorant right here, spamming back and forth with the Odin through the wall. Oh, look at Sova, meanwhile.
You should run.
Lining up, Venture is ready. There's a lockdown. Doc darts through though, and Seth Peaks was already pushed up, puts the hat out. Gonna get more information as well, so this lockdown essentially useless. Fortunately, Astro Wall's still ready to go as well, though. Conscious catches Seth pushing. Fiend's flanking though. He saw 1, catches the Astra. Down to 2 for Olympic Esports, but Dusty takes out Fiend, and Dusty also gets temperature. So suddenly 2 versus 2. Rebo, gotta be careful. This is very winnable now for Olympic. 30 seconds remaining.
Especially with those knives out. And suddenly Radiance over pushing a little bit, getting a little bit too aggressive. Punish for it. Quick rotation over towards A. Conscious will be here first with the knives.
1 enemy remaining.
Rebo in heaven.
10 seconds left.
There we go. We saw the previous round. He had those knives and the work he did. I want to say it was a 4 kill that he got there, but a nice shot there. Venture hoping to spray through hell, but no one's there. And being flanked meanwhile, Dusty breaks the window and gets the immediate kill. There you go. They get 3. We'll see what happens now.
Switching sides.
Is the curse real? Yeah, I think Radiance, they know they probably tossed that one away a little bit. So perhaps even just, you know, feeling confident enough to go against the 9-3 curse and just trying to, you know, prove that they have what it takes to beat it.
See some stat lines there. Fiend 18-7-1. Seth 12-4-3. Also a very clean first half. I mean, obviously across the board, very good for them. Gotch is leading the way to the other side, 9-10, but still. They'll take it. They take 3 rounds and swapping sides now, so kind of hold we have. It's going to be, looks like an A work for Radiance, at least early on, maybe even the catwalk area.
I need obscuring
Picking up mid.
Gonna be a fast cat play.
Thinking about going cat. Now they're jumping up towards mid as well. Reyna holding catwalk. 3 going up to market though. There's people in this spawn, so a bit of a spread here. He's down to 23 lives. They're trying to close the door, but simply sprays the classic and finds the kill. Temperature can't land a shot in flank. And this round, Bro Olympics actually got to a good start, but Seth catches Dusty reloading. And now they have claimed the site. Spike is ready to be planted. It's going to be retake time.
That's one of those crazy on-the-fly adjustments. 2 or 3 different ideas being executed at once, and ends up with a spike plan on B. And this is definitely winnable for Radiance, even though they're down a player.
Flash in the face. Seth, though, catches the head of Corvette. Makes it 3 versus 3. Rebo, nice spray through the wall. Damage there, picking up with the classic. Rebo just back and forth, though, playing this so well. Using that wall. Rebo even gets another. And now flanking no Speedway. Simply suddenly by himself, and Rebo flanks for the kill. Rebo played that beautifully in that pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, that was just very well played by Radiance there. As soon as they got on site, they got their post plant set up. They had all the angles covered, and the timing just not quite there for Olympic Esports to effectively, you know, hit multiple angles at the same time, which is kind of what you need when you have that numbers advantage on a retake. Sort of peeking one at a time, getting picked apart.
No main play. It looks like Radiance, I mean, we saw this on defense too, that they love that mid control. All about it. So as I say this, they haven't necessarily taken it over, but they're certainly watching it. The Cypher has the camera. Sure anyone there. Venture drones up to A main. They're checking wine. Nobody there as we can see, but not 100% sure.
Recovering it.
Walking over to the team. The Spike currently back in their spawn, so again playing the game of getting info first before they make a play. Right, does, but Gonch just lands a shot first and dashes away, typical Jet fashion. It's a case, door's gonna be closed though for Cypher, so they know they're pushed up cat, and they've also taken over A main, so trying to hit the A site. Seth gets Corvette, and now running in, they broke the door. They also get Dusty in the site, of course, got an advantage, favoring Radiance.
Spike planted.
A couple of really nice shock darts there to push people out of position. Radiance just showing kind of like multiple layers of their attack. Even though Olympic did a good job stalling out the initial aggression, there's just more following it up. And Fiend has a great angle here on Cat, making this even more difficult to get in for any sort of retake.
Seth blocks the ace and he can't clutch it. Temperature, of course, kills Potato Lover in the end, but unfortunate for Seth right there. Thought he had it.
No clip. Although he is top fragging now.
Yeah, you know what? And he's got that going for him, so definitely doing a little bit of stuff to Fiend there as far as being the top frag on Cypher. I mean, that's impressive. That's not an agent you would expect to be top fragging, but doing so here. So 11-3. Going to see buys, though, on the other side, including, I saw an Odin there for a second, but no, 4 Vandals and a Phantom. There is an ultimate, that being Cypher's ultimate, so not necessarily the most impactful. Wow, talking about fast plays, man. And this is a bonus round currently for Radiance. Wow, dashing in, simply got a little bit of damage, but it's like, team, help me, quickly. Kills Jet, though, gets 2 more logs before being traded by the shock dart, so simply doing his job.
Great transfer there. Unfortunately for Olympic, the other 2 players are still making their way through middle. So it's going to be a full setup for Radiance before the defense can get in position. And it's going to be an Astro Wall as well.
Stuff. Zeph holding a great angle here. And they're both coming through market as we see, as Ancha's going to check through window, even going to B main.
Here.
Good information.
So hard though. It's, yeah, with the Cypher wall, it's so, or excuse me, the Astro wall.
You just know there's somebody behind you, so you have like 1 second to make a play. Yeah, really well played from Radiance. Olympic gave it their best shot.
Match point.
That was a tough task for sure at that point with the Astro Wall especially coming out. So attack pause coming out from Olympic Esports as they're down 3-12, trying to live up to that cursed comeback. But right now it's looking like Radiance could close things off pretty clean, taking the first map on Breeze and just about to do so here on Ascent. We've certainly seen bigger comebacks. We'll not hold our breath just yet, but Olympic, they do have a lockdown, so a little bit of utility there to take advantage of. We get around 16. Love that you can hear them talking in the background as well. Again, trying to figure it out, and that is a really cool addition to the production. Certainly, we've mentioned it frequently, but we'll continue to mention it because it is awesome. And hopefully, you at home appreciate that as well. You can hear just enough comms sometimes to hear about what they're flashing or what information they're looking for in the background there. Because I mean, let's be honest, a lot of us don't get to experience that top tier competitive play. I mean, that's just the legit fact, right? As far as some people might joke, be like, no, I'm a really good player. It's like, I mean, let's be honest. The facts state that a heavy majority of people tuning in, including ourselves, we don't get to experience that, especially in a LAN environment, competitive environment. At the elite play is something we don't really get to experience ourselves. So,
also, let's be honest. Regardless of where you're at, if you're in matchmaking, these comms aren't happening.
Exactly. Yeah. No way. Timeouts and everything. Anyways, very fast hit once again for Radiance.
And it's free.
It is. Yeah. They left it open. So they got the lockdown now, so they're going to try to make a lockdown response now. Set up for it.
Yeah, unfortunately though, Killjoy, I feel like this back lockdown is not really the ideal spot for it. You'd like to have it in B main, but Killjoy's here in the back. So they're going to have to fight their way in before placing this, most likely.
Sephiroth is very close right there. Doesn't even expect it. Gets another before finally traded. Lockdown has been destroyed, though. And now it's down to Fiend, however. The retake actually looking pretty good so far, but it's Fiend. We know what he can do. 1 versus 1 clutch, and he gets it, of course. The hat trick to finish. And 13-3 will be map 2 going the way of Radiance. So they take the series, and they advance on to the Group B winter finals.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, it's nice to see the Moon Raccoons boys back in action. I mean, I feel like you and I were there. I think it was like the Renegades tournament back in the day that we casted some Moon Raccoons, and this is most of that roster. It's nice to see them playing together, and they certainly look like they haven't really missed a beat because their spacing is super, super good. Their trading is really good. And obviously the aim is there to match it up. So definitely excited to see them play some more here today. And for the side of Olympic Esports, we saw some awesome shots. We saw some pretty interesting plays. And
saw some Ares spam through B main.
Yeah. It's Ascent. It's par for the course.
Absolutely was. So some fun gameplay here. We certainly had some great gameplay, and Fiend especially going off really on both maps. See a couple of back-to-back triple kills there, including this one to win the match and ultimately send their team to the winter finals of Group B. So again, there's still work to be done, but of course they are happy that they are going there. But I believe that means we're going to be going on a break and figure out what our next series is going to be. But before we do, I want to remind you, are you the next Nerd Street champion? Well, let's find out. Compete in your favorite games at nerdstreet.com. Of course, big shout out to Nerd Street Gamers putting on this event here, Winter Championships, Philadelphia Regional LAN event. I'm Breaking CBK, joined by Elevated. Stay tuned. We'll be back with our second series of the day, continuing that group stage action. We'll